Finish strong, finish the right way. This is the Mindset Artistry Podcast, episode number 34. I'm your host, David DiPaolo. Thank you for joining. This episode is going to be about finishing the year of 2024 strong and finishing it the right way. This podcast is going to be a little all over the place because I'm going to talk about three different things. They're not totally related with each other, but it's three things that I feel are very, very important during this exact time. We have Christmas coming up in 2 days. It's the holiday season, as some people will call it. You know, we have Hanukkah coming up as well, other religious holidays, and it's easy to get consumed with everything that's going on. It's easy to get consumed and forget what this is all about, right? And a lot of people do make that mistake. And look, you know, people are very, very stressed out during this time, very busy. There's a lot of things going on. And it's easy to just forget what it's all about, right? So again, I'm going to talk about three different things in this podcast, and they're important to me. I hope you find some value in it as well. But the first thing I want to talk about is gratitude, right? Gratitude's very big for me. I've talked about this throughout the whole year on my podcast. This is the first year that I launched this podcast. So one of the things I'm most grateful for is this podcast. For the people that reach out to me, that do listen, that do find value in what I talk about, I'm very happy for that. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm going to continue doing the podcast. It's going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to help more people, continue to have fun with this. And that's what it's all about. But I'm very grateful. And I just want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart dearly for supporting the show. And I'll keep going. And that's one of the things I am super grateful for. But overall, I'm very grateful for all the things in my life that I'm blessed with, my great family, my great friends, everything. So that's something that you should talk to yourself about every single day. And yes, I said talk to yourself because you should have inner dialogue with yourself. And one of the things I remind myself every single day with is, what am I grateful for? And I will go down the whole entire list every single day of the things that I am grateful and blessed for, because a lot of times we lose sight of that. And it's easy to get so consumed with the things that you want and the things that you think that you need in life, and almost not forget, but neglect the things that you already have, and you're not really appreciating them as much as you should. And that's easy to do because we get consumed with, the next step and the next thing. But be very grateful for the things that you have in your life, especially the things that money can't buy. Because at the end of the day, they can be taken from you at any moment. I know that more than anyone. And so don't take those things for granted. Be very grateful for the things that you do have in life. Appreciate them, love them, give them the time that they need and deserve. And you will value life a lot more. You will value these things that money can't buy a lot more when you do that, when you show how grateful you are to them. And you should be, right? Like, just naturally, you should be grateful for things that you have in your life. If you're not, then you're missing the point. You're missing the point of life. You really are. So again, I've talked about this a lot. I've talked about gratitude a lot on my podcast, but that's a big one, especially during this time of the year. Another thing I want to talk about is patience, right? My wife says this to me all the time: pack your patience. And it's something I've gotten a lot better with over the last few years, especially after having my son. You know, he's 4 years old right now. I've become a lot more patient of a person, and not just so much because I have to be more patient with a toddler, or more patient with a toddler having a kid. I'm more patient with just with other people and situations and things that are going on around me. And knowing that I can't put myself in a bad situation if I react to something poorly, right? So it's better for me to have more patience and be more calm when things are going on, because you could put yourself in a very bad situation by overreacting, making things worse. And no one needs that. No one wants that. People are crazy out there, and it's a shame that's how life is. And you have to be very mindful and very conscious of your surroundings and what's going on around you. This time especially, you know, I was driving home last week. I was picking up my son, taking him to his martial arts class. And the street that I was on is on a street where there's a lot of different stores, right? So it's rush hour traffic. It's also combined with people that are in the middle of shopping and running around doing different things, holiday parties, whatever it is. And I mean, in this, 2 mile stretch, I witnessed like the most egregious shit between people, like screaming, yelling, beeping at each other, pulling up next to each other, rolling down the window, screaming, trying to fight each other. Like on this 2-mile stretch, I've seen that happen about 4 or 5 times, and people are just losing their minds. Man, look, that's not what this is all about, right? Like, that's not what the holiday season's about. And I get it. Like, people are stressed out. People are busy. Life's getting the best of them. They're losing their cool. And, when you're driving, like, you have heightened senses, right? People are driving nuts and doing different things, not paying attention. Again, like, maybe their mind is somewhere else. And the thing is, we know that, right? Like, we know that going into it. So how you react to that is important, right? Like, don't make the situation worse. Like, you don't know what someone is capable of, right? You don't want to be the reason someone, reaches their breaking point. Like, who knows what that person is going through? You don't know what they just came from. You don't know what's going on in their mind. You don't know what they're dealing with in their life. And people get nuts, right? Like, you see it all the time where people just open fire, shooting people because of road rage, people ramming into each other, people getting out of the cars, fighting, hitting people with bats, like bashing people's windows. I mean, it gets really, really bad, right? But that can be avoided by not reacting. Like, I get it. Like, someone puts you in danger, then sure, you need to defend yourself. You need to do what you need to do. I get that. I'm all about that, right? But you can avoid a lot of these situations when someone does something stupid, they cut you off, they get in front of you, whatever, they're going too slow, they're going too fast, whatever it is. Like, just take a step back for a second, look at what's going on, and just let it go. Like, you don't have to react. You don't have to snap out. You don't have to flip out. You don't have to roll down your window. You don't have to beep at them. You don't have to start fighting with people. Just let it go. You will, 0.9% of the time, you will never see that person ever again in your life. Cross paths at that moment. It was a bad time. It was a bad thing that happened. Let it go. Like, that little minute second of your life doesn't need to turn into something that you can't get away from, that you can't walk away from, right? Like, you don't want to be in a situation where you get hurt, someone you love gets hurt, or you possibly hurt them, and now you go to jail for the rest of your life. Like, you don't need that in your life for something as stupid as someone cut you off, gave you the finger, or beeped at you. Like, just let it go. Who cares? You'll never see this person again in your life. It is not worth it, okay? So be mindful of that. Have some patience. In the back of your mind, know that that's not what the holiday season is supposed to be about, right? Like, we're all in this together. We're all, dealing with this at the same time. We're all just trying to figure it out every day as life goes. We're trying to do our best. We don't need that extra stress and aggravation. Let that shit go. You really just have to let it go. And like I said, like, don't be the tipping point. Like, don't be the breaking point for someone that they finally had enough, where they do get out of the car with a gun or a bat, or they're flipping out, or running you off the road. Like, it's not worth it. Okay. So look, be patient, be mindful. These are crazy times for everyone. Everyone's just trying to do their best. People are just trying to figure it out. Are there some assholes out there? Yeah, I get it. But you're not going to control that. You're not going to change that. So just let it go. Walk away from the situation. And then you don't have to be, in something you can't get out of, or that you made the mistake and you can't get that time back. You made that mistake and it was fatal. Someone got hurt. Someone died. Someone got, really injured to a point where, who knows, they maybe have to be in a wheelchair for the rest of their life, or they have damage that they cannot fix. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So be mindful, be patient, keep your eye on the bigger picture. It's not what the holidays are about. Don't let it get the best of you. Okay. The last thing is, look, we're going into 2025, right? I always say all the time that I think New Year's resolutions are bullshit. I think you need to be working on daily resolutions. I think if you put off all of your goals until after the new year, then you're setting yourself up for failure. I think if you do that, you could probably look back at all the years prior that you've always done that, and you probably have failed at every one of those ones that you have tried to accomplish. Yeah. Are there some wins in there? Maybe. Yeah. Have you done some of them? Have you fixed some things in your life? I hope so, right? Usually when people create New Year's resolutions and they wait till after the new year to fix these things in their life, that strategy usually doesn't work. And I know this because I've done it before in my life. And once I changed my mindset to know that that is that you're setting yourself up for failure and you cannot win that way, that you need to work on stuff now. You need to always be working on fixing yourself and working on your goals and whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. I prefer that you don't put it off till New Year. So if you can start now, if you could start now before Christmas Eve even comes, before the New Year, get it together now, that's the best thing you could do at this point. Obviously, you can't go back in time. You can't start a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, whatever it is. But what you can do now is start getting on the right path. What you can do now is putting a plan together, right? Because if you just say, hey, after the new year, I'm going to do this. These are my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to start doing this, blah, 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 blah. But you don't have a plan, you're going to fail, right? So whatever it is, if you have health goals, right? I need to lose some weight. So I need to come up with a plan with that. Well, all right, well, then you need to come up with a plan on what you're going to eat. More importantly, what you're not going to eat, how many calories you're going to intake in a day, how many calories you're going to burn in a day. What are your workouts going to be? What can you do as a workout? How do you ramp that up? So you need to have a plan. Write it down. Write down what that is and write down what your goals are. If you say, I want to get to a certain weight by a certain time, then you got to figure out how to do the math for that. You have to figure out the calories that you have coming in, what you are burning for your workouts. And it's simple math. It really is. And then you just got to put that plan together. Say, hey, I'm going to work out 4 days a week. This is the kind of workouts I'm going to do. I know what my calorie intake is going to be. And then boom, I'll be able to hit this by March, April, whatever it is. But you need to have a plan. If it's something else where it's like business goals or career goals, again, you have to come up with a plan. You can't do the same thing that you've always done, right? Like what's that saying? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. Well, yeah, that's just it. Like there's so many people that will say, I want this, I want to do this, I'm going to change this in my life, but have zero plan to do it. And they'll continue to just do the same behaviors and habits over and over and over and over. When you do that, there's no way that you can have a different result because all you're doing is the same thing that you've always done. So you got to change. You need a plan, okay? So it's very, very important, especially right now at this time. If there are things that you want to change in 2025 and beyond, it starts now. Put the plan together. Start now. Start doing those things already that you know are going to be part of that plan to get you where you want to be in 2025 and beyond, right? So it has to start now. You need to have a plan. You can't just go in this aimlessly, and you got to start executing. That's what it's all about, right? Execute. So don't set these goals and targets for yourself and then not put in the work to get there because you're just going to get discouraged and you're going to quit. You got to start putting in the work. And when you start putting in the work and you start seeing the results and you start seeing these small wins coming through and you start seeing milestones that you hit and you start seeing progress, that fuels you. That makes you keep going, right? That's it. That's how you have to have, you have to see that progress or you are going to quit and you are going to fail. So look, set up a plan, set up milestones, set up goals, whatever it is, and then start executing. That's it. Like you don't have to overcomplicate this. You don't have to make it harder than it needs to be, but you're not going to be able to accomplish anything if you don't know what your goals are and you don't have a plan to get it, right? So now's the time to do that. Do that right now. Start now. Start implementing the plan. Start executing on the plan now. You will feel so much better if you start now instead of January 1st or January 2nd, right? Because now you can look back and say, hey, look, I started, 8 days ahead of time. And I'm already ahead of the game. I'm already getting some motion here. I'm already getting some momentum. I'm already seeing some progress. I'm already seeing that this isn't as hard as I thought it would be, okay? Start now. And yeah, are you going to enjoy yourself for Christmas and New Year's maybe? Yeah, sure you are. Okay, but don't turn that into, just a 10-day long feast and gluttony and partying and like that. You are not going to feel good about yourself if you do that. Start now, have the discipline, keep yourself accountable, stick to the plan and start executing. That's it. That's how you can finish 2024 strong. That's how you will start 2025 strong. And that's how you will accomplish your goals, your targets, and whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish in the new year and beyond. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for a great year. This is my last podcast for 2024. I will pick this back up in 2025. I'm going to use this time for myself with that same advice that I just gave you. putting together some plans and different things that I want to do in 2025, and building on what I've already accomplished in 2024 and before that. So that's it, everyone. Thank you. Have a great holiday season. Be safe, be patient, pack your patience, and let's finish strong. Let's start strong and keep pushing. That's it. Have a great mindset. With a great mindset, you can accomplish anything. I'll see you all in 2025. Thank you.